When you cross the threshold of 65, life begins to reveal itself through a different lens. The clamor of the world softens, the faces of those around you shift, some fade, others linger, and the things that truly matter crystallize with a clarity that only time can bring. The frenetic pace of youth, the endless striving, the need to prove yourself, they all begin to dissolve, leaving behind a quiet space where wisdom takes root. But there's a lesson that many seniors learn only through painful experience, a truth that reshapes how they navigate their golden years. Sometimes, peace doesn't come from what you share with others, no matter how close they are. It comes from what you choose to hold close, to keep sacred within yourself. Today, on Still Becoming, I want to share with you 4 things you should never share with your family after 65. These aren't just pieces of advice or casual suggestions. They are hard-earned lessons, forged in the regrets of countless elderly individuals who whisper their truths when it's already too late to change course. These are the secrets that, if guarded, can protect your tranquility, preserve your dignity, and allow you to live a life of calm, respect, and purpose. Before we dive into these truths, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to Still Becoming if you're someone who values living your later years with intention, peace, and self-respect. This is a space where we explore what it means to continue growing, even as the years accumulate. And in the comments below, I encourage you to write, "I choose peace over drama." Because that simple statement reflects the essence of true wisdom after 65, a wisdom that prioritizes serenity over chaos, clarity over conflict. Now, let's begin. Listen closely, because these truths are not always easy to hear, but they are vital for anyone who wants to protect their peace in their later years. The first secret, your financial truth. The first secret you should never share with your family after 65 is the full extent of your financial situation, how much money you truly have. For many seniors, there's a natural instinct to be transparent about their savings, especially with their children or close relatives. They believe that openness fosters trust, helps their family plan for the future, or ensures that everyone is on the same page. On the surface, this seems like a noble intention. After all, you've spent decades building a life for your loved ones, and sharing your financial reality might feel like an extension of that care. But here's the hard truth. Transparency about your finances often invites unintended consequences, pressure, expectations, and, in some cases, manipulation. Money has a peculiar way of reshaping relationships, even among those you love most. When you reveal the details of your savings, investments, or assets, you may notice a subtle shift in how your family interacts with you. Suddenly, every decision you make becomes a point of scrutiny. Why did you buy that new recliner? Mom? Dad, do you really need to take that trip? Shouldn't you save that money for something else? These questions might seem innocent at first, but over time, they can erode your autonomy. Your choices, whether it's treating yourself to a small luxury, donating to a cause you care about, or simply spending on something that brings you joy, become subject to the opinions of others. Before you know it, you're living not for your own peace but for the approval of those around you. I've seen this play out in countless stories. Take Margaret, a 70-year-old widow who decided to share her savings details with her adult children, hoping it would help them feel secure about her future. Instead, her openness led to constant questions about her spending habits. Her daughter began suggesting she shouldn't waste money on her weekly book club lunches, while her son questioned her small donations to her church. Margaret felt her independence slipping away, as if her life's work was now under a microscope. What started as an act of transparency became a source of stress, guilt, and even resentment. Protecting your financial privacy doesn't mean you can't be generous or supportive. You can still help your loved ones when they need it, paying for a grandchild's education, helping with a down payment, or covering an unexpected medical bill. But that support should always come on your terms, driven by your own values and decisions, not out of guilt or external pressure. You worked hard for every dollar you have. You've earned the right to decide how to use it, whether that's spoiling yourself with a new hobby, traveling to a place you've always wanted to visit, or quietly saving for your own future needs. No one else has the right to dictate how you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So how do you maintain this boundary? Start by setting clear expectations. If someone asks about your finances, respond with kindness but firmness. I've got everything under control, and I'll let you know if there's anything you need to be aware of. Keep detailed records with a trusted financial advisor or attorney, and ensure your plans are clear and documented. This way, you maintain control while avoiding unnecessary conflict. Your peace depends on it. The second secret: your deepest family disappointments. The second secret to keep to yourself is one that carries a heavy emotional weight: your deepest family disappointments. As a parent, grandparent, or elder in your family, you've likely experienced moments of hurt or disillusionment. Perhaps one of your children didn't visit as often as you hoped. Maybe harsh words were exchanged in a moment of anger, leaving scars that never fully healed. Or perhaps a loved one chose a life path that felt foreign to you, a career, a partner, or a lifestyle that didn't align with the dreams you had for them. These disappointments are real, and they can weigh heavily on your heart. But sharing them openly, especially in an attempt to seek understanding or resolution, rarely brings the healing you hope for. Instead, it often deepens the divide. There's a temptation to believe that airing these grievances will lead to reconciliation. You might think, if I just explain how much their actions hurt me, they'll understand. They'll change. But the reality is, revisiting old wounds tends to harden hearts rather than soften them. I've spoken with seniors who've spent years bringing up past hurts, hoping for an apology or acknowledgement that never comes. Instead of fostering closeness, these conversations create distance. Children or relatives may feel judged, defensive, or even resentful, pulling away rather than drawing nearer. Consider the story of James, a 68-year-old retiree who couldn't let go of his disappointment over his son's decision to move across the country. Every time they spoke, James would mention how much it hurt that his son chose a life so far away. He thought his honesty would bring them closer, but instead, his son began calling less often, feeling guilty and frustrated. What James didn't realize was that his constant revisiting of the pain wasn't building a bridge, it was building a wall. The wiser path is to process these disappointments privately. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means finding healthy ways to work through them, through prayer, journaling, or quiet reflection. Sometimes, it means seeking the guidance of a trusted friend, counselor, or spiritual advisor who can listen without judgment. Not every emotion needs an audience, and not every hurt needs to be voiced. There's a quiet dignity in choosing silence over the need to be right, in loving your family despite the ways they've let you down. This choice isn't about denying your truth. It's about protecting your heart and your relationships. By letting go of the need to vocalize every disappointment, you create space for love to grow, even in imperfect circumstances. You allow your family to see you as a source of strength and grace, not a repository of unresolved pain. And in doing so, you preserve your own peace, which is far more valuable than any fleeting moment of being understood. The third secret: your inheritance plans. The third secret to hold close is your plans for your inheritance, at least until the time is right. Few topics have the power to fracture families as quickly as the promise of money or assets after your passing. Even the most loving siblings can find themselves at odds when the subject of inheritance arises. Seniors often believe that sharing their will or estate plans early will prevent conflict later, fostering transparency and fairness. But in practice, this openness tends to do the opposite. It sparks comparisons, doubts, and resentments that can simmer for years, turning relationships into battlegrounds over hypothetical wealth. When you reveal your inheritance plans prematurely, you risk shifting the dynamic of your relationships. Suddenly, your love and legacy are reduced to numbers on a page. A child might wonder why their sibling is set to receive a larger share. A relative might question why you chose to leave something to a charity instead of the family. These questions, even if unspoken, can breed tension, envy, or entitlement. I've heard stories of families torn apart because a parent casually mentioned their estate plans at a family dinner, only to watch their children begin to tally up their fair share before the ink was even dry. Take the example of Susan, a 72-year-old who thought sharing her will with her 3 children would promote harmony. Instead, her oldest son felt slighted because she planned to leave the family home to her youngest daughter, who had cared for her during an illness. The siblings began arguing over who deserved what, and Susan found herself mediating disputes instead of enjoying her time with her family. What she intended as an act of clarity became a source of division. The wiser approach is to keep your inheritance plans private, documented, and legally sound. Work with an attorney to ensure your will or trust is clear, fair, and reflective of your values. Share the details only when absolutely necessary, perhaps with a trusted executor or when your health demands it. When you pass, your written words will speak for you with a clarity and authority that emotional conversations rarely achieve. In the meantime, focus on building memories with your loved ones, not debates over what they might one day receive. Your relationships should be rooted in love and presence, not expectations of future gain. The fourth secret: your fears and weaknesses. The fourth and perhaps most powerful secret to keep is your fears and weaknesses. This one might feel counterintuitive. After all, vulnerability is often celebrated as a path to connection, and sharing your struggles can feel like a way to be authentic. But after 65, expressing every worry or insecurity can subtly shift how your family perceives you, and not always for the better. Many seniors begin to voice concerns that weigh heavily on their minds. I'm scared of being alone. My memory isn't what it used to be. I feel useless without my old routine. While these feelings are valid and human, sharing them indiscriminately can change the way your loved ones see you. They may stop viewing you as the strong, wise figure you've always been and start treating you as someone fragile, someone to be pitied or managed. This shift can have profound consequences. The more you're seen as vulnerable, the smaller your voice becomes in your own life. Your children might start making decisions for you, where you should live, how you should spend your time, even what medical care you need, without fully consulting your wishes. Your opinions, once valued, might be dismissed as the ramblings of someone not quite themselves. I've met seniors who, in their openness about their fears, found themselves sidelined in their own families, treated as if their strength had evaporated overnight. Consider the story of Robert, a 67-year-old who began sharing his anxieties about aging with his daughter. He confided that he was worried about forgetting things and felt lonely since his wife passed away. While he hoped for understanding, his daughter began treating him differently, checking in excessively, questioning his ability to live alone, even suggesting he move to a senior facility. Robert's honesty, though well-intentioned, shifted the dynamic of their relationship. He went from being a respected father to someone his daughter felt she needed to take care of, and he struggled to regain his sense of autonomy. This doesn't mean you should never seek support. If you're facing genuine challenges, whether physical, mental, or emotional, reach out to the right people: a doctor, a therapist, a close friend, or a trusted advisor. But be selective about how and with whom you share your vulnerabilities. Your family should see your strength, your resilience, your weathered wisdom, far more than your struggles. You've faced decades of storms, career challenges, personal losses, health scares, and you're still here. You're not weak. You're a survivor, shaped by experience and fortified by time. There's immense power in that, and it's a legacy worth protecting. So how do you balance honesty with strength? Share your needs carefully and strategically. If you're feeling lonely, instead of saying, "I'm scared of being alone," you might say, "I'd love to spend more time together. How about a weekly dinner?" If memory concerns arise, consult a professional privately before broadcasting your fears. By framing your challenges with agency and solutions, you maintain your dignity and ensure your voice remains strong. Your family should see you as the pillar you've always been, not as someone diminished by age. The power of silence. Let me share a truth that many older adults come to understand only after years of trial and error. Silence is not weakness. It's protection. It's self-respect. It's the wisdom you've earned through decades of navigating life's noise. You don't owe the world, or even your family, every detail of your inner life. You owe yourself peace. After 65, your greatest treasure isn't your bank account, your health, or even the time you have left. It's tranquility, the quiet, steady calm that comes from knowing you've chosen your battles wisely, guarded your privacy with care, and refused to let the expectations of others define your happiness. This tranquility is fragile, and it's worth protecting at all costs. Every time you choose to keep a secret, whether it's your finances, your disappointments, your inheritance plans, or your fears, you're building a fortress around your peace. You're saying, "This is mine. This is sacred." And in doing so, you reclaim the power to live your life on your terms, not as a reflection of what others want or expect. Think about the seniors you admire most, those who seem to radiate calm, confidence, and grace in their later years. What sets them apart? It's not that they've avoided life's challenges or escaped pain. It's that they've learned what to share and what to hold close. They've mastered the art of selective silence, not out of secrecy but out of self-preservation. They know that peace, once lost, can take a lifetime to rebuild, and they guard it fiercely. A gentle reminder. So, to every senior listening or reading this today, let this be your gentle reminder. Protect your peace with the same devotion you showed your children when they were young. Guard your privacy with the same care you gave your home, your sanctuary. You've spent decades nurturing others, building a life, weathering storms. Now, it's time to nurture yourself. You don't have to explain your choices, justify your joy, or lay bare your soul to prove your love. Your life, your story, your heart, they're yours to cherish, and no one else has a claim to them. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to Still Becoming for more guidance, stories, and wisdom tailored to living your golden years with grace, strength, and purpose. This is a community for those who believe that growth doesn't stop with age, that we are always becoming, always evolving, always finding new ways to live fully. And in the comments below, share your thoughts. What's one thing you've learned to keep private for the sake of your own peace? Your story might inspire someone else to protect their tranquility, too. Because here's the truth, the heart of what we are talking about today. After 65, happiness doesn't come from what you share with the world. It comes from knowing what to keep quietly, sacredly, in your heart. You've earned that right. You've earned that peace. And no one, not even those you love most, can take it from you unless you let them. Let's reflect on this for a moment. Imagine a life where your decisions are yours alone, free from the weight of others' expectations. Picture a family gathering where the conversation is about love, memories, and laughter, not money, grudges, or unspoken fears. That's the life you deserve, and it's within your reach if you choose to protect your peace. You've spent decades giving to others. Now, give yourself the gift of tranquility. It's not selfish, it's survival. It's wisdom. It's the legacy of a life well lived. As we close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The years after 65 are not about fading into the background. They are about stepping into your power, embracing your wisdom, and living with a clarity that only comes with time. You're not just surviving these years, you're thriving, becoming, evolving. And the key to that lies in knowing what to share and what to hold close. So choose peace. Choose privacy. Choose yourself. Because after 65, that's the greatest gift you can give, to yourself and to the world. Thank you for joining me on Still Becoming. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and join us for more stories and wisdom to guide you through your golden years. Until next time, keep becoming, keep choosing peace.